On Nationwide this evening, the golden age of steam and how the puffing billies opened up access to the country. The documentary the local children made of a village's now lost railway. Well, we're off to Sligo now, where a group of school children at Monaster Eden have produced a fascinating documentary which tells the story of the train which used to run through their village, but which they lost in the 1960s.
The Ballaghaderreen to Kilfree branch railway line opened on November 2nd, 1874 and closed on 2nd of February 1963.
It's the story of a train line now long gone, but one which had a huge impact on the lives of people who lived along it. And the story of the train from Ballaghaderreen to Kilfree is told by children from 3rd to 6th class at St Aidan's National School in Monaster Eden in Sligo, a bright bunch who were able to teach me a thing or two about making films.
I did some of the camera work in Bernie Timon's interview, and I did the animation.
Tell us about the animation. I loved your little train going across.
That wasn't very easy to make the animation. We had to do a lot of drawing first, and then we have to move it bit by bit, and we have to take double pictures each time on each scene.
The children and their teachers put a lot of work into capturing an important piece of local history. They managed to get their hands on old cine footage and interviewed many people who shared memories and stories with them, including one of their grannies.
My granny was saying things like, you know, they couldn't imagine life without the train. It was everything to do with it. Like, when you were getting up in the morning, the train got you up in the morning, you had to be at school before it passed your house again. Well, it started at Ballaghaderreen, then it went on to Edmondstown, and it went to Island Road Station. It is near Monaster Eden, and then it met up with the main line at Kilfree.
And how long did the journey take?
The journey was about 40 minutes going one way, but coming back it was about 30 minutes because it was the decline.
And would many people have used the train every day?
Oh, a lot of people would have used the train every day because they could go to Ballaghaderreen to do the shopping in the morning and come back on the evening train, yeah.
And how much would it have cost them?
It would have costed an old 2 and 6.
Guard on the train was Christy Plunkett, he lived there. Now you could send for anything with him. You used to bring bread out on the train from the bakery in Ballaghaderreen that used to make turnovers that will never be replaced. Those people went on that train and said they never came back. And those people really lasted them. I hear my father talking about an old man that lived in the village over there. He had 5 or 6 sons, and they were big, strong men. And he met the train one day, he was coming along, kept on the side, and he cursed it down to hell for all the fine minutes it exported. And he meant every word of it. He was left on his own.
Now the house where Christy Plunkett lived and worked is the home of one of the young filmmakers.
Christy Plunkett was the guard on the train that came through the station. This was his house, and now it's mine. He lived here with his wife Annie Plunkett, who sold the tickets. She sold the last ticket to Goosey Moore on the 1st of February 1963.
Who did you interview?
Leo Plunkett, because his dad was the guard on the train and his mum was, she done 3 jobs actually. She was the ticket seller, the signal worker, and she actually opened and closed the gates as well. And Leo came down just to visit his mum and dad's grave, and we interviewed him then when he came down.
The last ticket was issued to Goosey Moore, and that was the last ticket. There were well printed tickets, Island Road to Balla, and that was it. And she shoved it in then to a small printing press for the date. That printing press was changed every morning. Quite a simple operation, although good for its time. She walked out of the small booking office and without much ado, she just said, "I'm finished." I always remember it, I thought it was a very good speak.
Bernie Timon, we interviewed her because she lives right beside where the track used to go by. You can actually still see where it went. And she was telling us how the chickens used to be out on the railway line, and the train had come along and then it was bye-bye chickens. Miss Towie, the people that were going on the train would bring their bags, and she had a cafe, and they'd leave them in their cafe, go to a pub and have a few drinks, to come back again and eat something in her cafe, and then they'd go on the train. And Miss Towie said it was very sad because most people that went never came back again.
I did camera work when I got it up there, of course. I did animation, that was fun. And I interviewed 2 people, Father Flynn and Eamon McLaughlin.
Tell us about Father Flynn.
Father Flynn, he's a retired parish priest now. He used to be parish priest of Ballymote. He gave us footage of a few days before the last train went, and he was very surprised that the train had gone, because it was kind of part of his life.
We got into the train, Father Cawley, who was a priest in the college, and Father Keegan, who also taught in the college at the time. They came with me on the train. We got on it then and we went down to Kilfree, and we took a picture of Island Road station. And when we got to Kilfree then, we walked up and down for a little while until the other train came from Sligo, the mainline train going from Sligo to Dublin. And when that had passed, we waited until they turned the engine around and set back again for Balladreen.
Al O'Daly remembers the last train and the last mailbag brought by the train from Balladreen to Kilfree.
I remember the last train from Balladreen. I was honoured to bring the mail to Kilfree, and I handed the last mailbag to Christy Plunkett in February 1963.
Balladreen solicitor Dermot Neelan recalls the last train and how his father Paddy recorded the day on a cine camera.
I was a very small boy at the time, but I remember the day very well, and I remember the crowds of people that were there and the scramble to get on the train. And the carriages were compartmentalised, and not like you have open carriages today. There was a corridor and little sections. And I remember being in one of those with my brother and my friends. And we went to Kilfree and back, and it was a great occasion. It was a sad occasion for a lot of people as well. And obviously the train has never been replaced, and it's missed a great deal now from the area.
With fascinating old footage, the children's DVD goes beyond the story of the train itself to include a major event, the blizzard of 1947. And it all came about thanks to the FEAT project, which brought film into their school's curriculum.
It brought out their skills, their artistic skills. Sometimes doing animation, that's an artistic skill. Doing a storyboard, artistic skills. Writing up a script, it's an English exercise, where a child takes a few characters and writes a script for that. Picking a location, looking at the photographs of locations, and going out, finding the costumes, finding the props. All this is developing the child's skills, their artistic skills. All these subjects that we are doing in school can be done through this project, FEAT. We're not really filmmakers, we're educators. And anything that develops the education and the personality and the overall development of the pupil is really good for them.
But the benefits are much more widespread. Sales of the DVD are helping pay for a new extension to the school. And for local people and those who have long left the area, it has had an immeasurable impact.
I don't think you could estimate what it has meant to all people. There's at least 2 generations of people who never remember this railway. And for people like me, and even older than me, that we have sent this DVD away to them, and they just sat and watched it over and over and over again, because they saw people on it that they had forgotten. We saw the crew of the train that was so helpful.
We put them in DVDs, and they're going everywhere now. They're going to England and America and Australia. They're going all over the world now.
How does that make you feel?
It's very good, and it's a great accomplishment for us. for a small school like her and a small village like Monaster Eden to get a big turnout like that.
And who knows, but someday some of those young people might end up bringing programmes like Nationwide to the small screen.